We had a song we used to sing growing up back home, and it had the lines, I have a very big God who is always by my side. I used to sing it with a lot of passion and gusto. I have a very big God who is always by my side. I was sensed that those words were spoken over our lives. It was to remind us of who we were doing life with and why we should not be afraid. And every now and then I like to unpack those words. That song comes back to me and I begin to unpack it. What does that actually mean in the nitty-gritty of day-to-day life? What does it actually look like to do life with God, to know that this big God is by my side? What does that mean for us today? What does that mean for us in our tomorrow? I think about that reality of doing life with someone and how you draw strength and comfort and encouragement from each other. There are certain spaces in life where I draw a lot of strength and comfort from Emma. So, for example, when the boys are ill, my natural tendency is to panic. Probably get that from my mom. But Em usually remains calm. And I trust that in this area of the children's health, Emma knows a lot more than I do. And so when I look to her and I see that she's calm and she's not panicking and she's not anxious, and I realize that she knows a lot more than I do about the children's health and the different things in that department, it makes me calm, because I'm like, well, if she's not panicking, then perhaps things are okay. And I think that's one of the things that God brings to the story for us. And we see it in Jesus when he journeys with his disciples. That when they're in the storm and the disciples are anxious and afraid, but Jesus is so calm that he is even asleep. And there's a sense in which Jesus invites them and says, no, look at me and see that I am in the boat with you and I am not anxious. I know that I have the understanding and capacity of this story and where it's going. And if I am calm, if I am saying to you, I am still in control of this, then you can be calm too. Or when the disciples are setting out for a journey and they forget to pack bread and they think, oh my goodness, we're not going to have what we need, and there's arguments between them and they're a bit, unsettled and shaken by this. And again, Jesus is saying, look to me, you're doing this journey with me. Look at me. I am not anxious about the fact that there isn't bread. And he reminds them of scenarios they've been in where they didn't really have much, but because they had him, it was enough. And I think that's the beauty of this invitation to do life with God, that he draws us into a space when we begin to feel anxious because the storm surrounds us. He says to us, no, look at me. I am with you in the boat. And look, I know where this story is going and I'm calm and I'm in control. He says, look at me and see that I'm calm about things, and trust me and be calm. When we find ourselves in spaces where we're wondering, I need this thing, but I don't know where it's going to come from. And Jesus often says to us, isn't he? He says, your Father knows you need these things. If he's calm about it, you can be calm too. And so I realized that grace to declare, I have this very big God who is by my side. The powerful grace in that is when we learn to turn our eyes to him, when we learn to remember that this life, this journey that we're in, this boat that you're on, this journey that we're part of, we're not alone. Our big God is by our side. And if he's calm, if he's not anxious, if he's not worried, if he's not scared about the journey that we are on, then we can look at him and find peace. So look to your big God and rejoice. He's always by your side.